They laughed at the fragile girl, until her sniper shot from 3200 m silenced them forever. The wind rolled across the open training grounds of Fort Hale like a living thing, carrying dust, echoes, and the restless energy of 100 young soldiers. It was assessment day, an event that separated the exceptional from the average, the disciplined from the distracted, the driven from the doubtful. Recruits buzzed with nervous chatter as instructors prepared the long-range range. Among the crowd stood Lena Hart. Small, quiet, slim. A girl whose frame seemed too delicate for the uniform she wore. She kept her hands behind her back, posture straight but not aggressive, eyes lowered as if she were trying to make herself invisible. The others noticed. "Looks like she'll faint just holding a rifle," one recruit whispered. "Probably can't even handle recoil," another joked. A few snickered. Some openly laughed. None of them hid their doubt. To them, Lena looked fragile, too soft for the harshness of long-range shooting. Only one person didn't laugh. Sergeant Damon Reed. A former sniper himself, Reed had eyes that caught everything. He had spent 11 years in the field, and nothing irritated him more than a recruit being judged before firing a single shot. As he watched Lena stand silently under the weight of the others' mockery, something unsettled him, not because she appeared weak, but because she didn't react. Not a flinch. Not a twitch. Nothing. Like she had weathered such judgment before. When he approached the recruits, the laughter halted. "All right," Reed barked. "Today, we test precision. You'll fire at increasing distances. Whoever scores highest earns sniper qualification consideration. Understood?" "Yes, Sergeant." Reed pointed at Lena. "Hart. You're first." The snickering returned instantly. "Oh, this'll be good, she's gonna drop the rifle." Reed's glare froze them. "Anyone who talks again runs 5 miles. In silence. The range fell quiet. Lena stepped forward, her boots barely making a sound on the gravel. She didn't rush, didn't shuffle, didn't show fear, just calm, almost unnatural calm. She set her cheek against the rifle stock with practiced movements, eyes narrowing behind the scope. Reed blinked. That wasn't how a beginner held a rifle. He opened his mouth to say something, but the shot fired before he could form a thought. A clean, sharp crack. The distant monitor flashed, target, 600 meters. Bullseye. Perfect center. The recruits stared. She didn't smile. She didn't even breathe differently. She simply adjusted the bipod and Reed nodded slowly. 800 meters, he commanded. She fired again. Bullseye. Mile shot, he ordered. 1,600 meters. She didn't hesitate. She fired. Bullseye. Someone in the back exhaled, stunned. Another whispered, "No way." Reed stepped toward her, lowering his voice. "Hart, where did you learn to do that?" Her jaw tightened. "Practice, Sergeant." He didn't buy it, not for a second. No recruit practiced their way into near-perfect sniper instincts. Her breathing was too controlled. Her pulse never spiked. And her eyes. Her eyes looked like they'd seen things far beyond a training range. "Push her," one instructor muttered behind Reed. "Let's see where her limit is." Reed hesitated. This test wasn't meant for extremes. But something about the way Lena held herself, silent, composed, contained, told him she could take it. Or maybe needed to. "Hart," Reed called, "triple the distance." The instructors froze. "Sergeant, that's I know." He wasn't asking for a standard long shot. He was asking for something exceptional. Something nearly impossible. Something only elite snipers even attempt. 3,200 meters, Reed announced. A few recruits snorted. "She's done. No one hits that. Fragile girl's luck just ran out." Lena lowered the rifle slowly. She looked at the target. Barely visible at that distance except through high-powered optics. Her breath changed, just a hair. Her fingers trembled, not from fear, but from something else. Memory. Then she lay prone again. She inhaled deeply. Reed watched closely. Her breathing pattern wasn't standard military technique. It was something else, something older, personal, practiced. She settled into a stillness Reed had seen only in soldiers who had fired under conditions where silence meant survival and stillness meant life. She pulled the trigger. The echo rolled across the field like thunder. Time slowed. All eyes fixed on the distant screen. A long pause, a silent stretch, then a blink. Target, 3,200 meters. Direct hit. The range exploded in disbelief. What? How? No one can. That's impossible. Reed stared at her with a tightness in his chest. Not fear. Not intimidation. Recognition. He stepped closer. Hart, that shot, who trained you? She lowered her eyes. I'd rather not say, Sergeant. That's not an answer. Lena didn't speak. But something flickered in her expression, pain so brief, so raw, Reed knew instantly it was tied to loss. Before he could push further, Captain Monroe approached the line, expression unreadably stern. Sergeant Reed. Hart, my office. Now. The recruits whispered wildly as Lena walked off. The fragile girl wasn't fragile at all. She had just accomplished something even elite marksmen struggled with. Inside Monroe's office, the air felt heavier. Lena stood at attention, eyes searching the floor as Monroe opened a secure file, one Reed had never seen. He read the first line and froze. Lena Hart, former NATO scout sniper, Unit, Black Frost Recon. Reed swallowed. Black Frost wasn't just any unit, it was one of the most covert, highest-risk sniper teams in the Alliance. Their missions were classified, their casualties rarely acknowledged. Their training was brutal. Their operations unimaginable. He kept reading. Served in Operation Winterline. Unit ambushed during high-altitude extraction. All members Kia except Hart. Reed looked up sharply. All except you? Lena didn't lift her head. Yes, Sergeant. Monroe continued. She survived 6 hours alone under enemy fire. Made a 3,100-meter shot in sub-zero conditions to protect a rescue team. Reed felt the breath leave his lungs. The shot she had just made wasn't a fluke. It was a ghost from her past. Your record was sealed, Monroe said quietly. Per your request. Lena finally looked up. I didn't want special treatment. I didn't want anyone to look at me and see what I lost. Reed's voice softened. Your unit? Her lips pressed together. Her eyes glistened, not with weakness, but with memory. I tried, she whispered. I tried to cover them. To warn them. But the snow, the fog, the ridge collapsed. I heard them calling for help. I still hear it at night. Her voice cracked. She inhaled sharply through the pain. I made the shot. The rescue team survived. But my squad didn't. And when I came home, everyone looked at me like I was broken. Like surviving made me weak. Reed shook his head slowly. It didn't. She blinked. Then why did they laugh today, Sergeant? Because they saw your size, he said. Not your strength. Strength didn't save my unit, she whispered. No. He agreed. But your spirit did. She looked confused, so he stepped closer. It takes strength to survive. But spirit? He tapped her chest gently. That takes something else. Something the others don't understand. Tears slipped down Lena's face. She wiped them quickly, ashamed. Monroe said softly, You joined again to rebuild. Lena nodded. I want to serve. I want to be useful. But I don't want my past to follow me. Reed exhaled slowly. Your past isn't a chain, Hart. It's a legacy. She looked at him with trembling steadiness. Then what do I do now? Reed gave a faint smile, the kind that comes from respect earned, not given. You do what you did today, he said. You silence doubt. Not with words. With truth. Lena Hart nodded, standing taller, not as a fragile recruit, but as the soldier she once was and the soldier she was becoming again. Outside, the recruits were still buzzing, still stunned, still replaying the impossible shot in their minds. When Lena stepped back onto the range, the laughter was gone. The mockery forgotten. The doubts erased. Every head turned, and every mouth closed. Because sometimes, one shot wasn't just a shot, it was a message. And Lena's message was heard 3,200 meters away. And even farther in the hearts of those who needed to see what strength truly looked like. If my work inspires you even a little, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I truly love knowing that.